Howdy, everyone. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, this is just your warning to let you know that there's going to be a lot of topics discussed in these podcasts that may not be topical for younger audiences. And there's going to be a lot of swearing as well, which means that if you're under the age of 18, please don't fucking listen to this. With that out of the way, enjoy the show.
60 in like 2 seconds.
I mean, isn't that just what ends up happening when we do this anyway?
What?
Talking about?
Welcome everyone to the podcast. How are y'all doing?
Damn it, you stole my bit!
Yes!
Wait, did we start? Is it starting?
I mean, I'll never tell. You're just gonna have to find out once we end up putting this on YouTube.
Hi everybody, I'm Missy.
I'm confused. Are we on? What are we doing? What are we doing? The fuck are we doing?
We're doing it live, goddammit.
So we are recording, or?
I mean, I just hit the play button immediately after Missy said, "Welcome to the podcast."
Damn it. Oh!
Or maybe I didn't. Maybe I did catch it. You'll never know.
Well,
I mean,
welcome
I
to the
will.
podcast, everyone.
I'll just have to wait until the episode's out.
Yep, that's sort of how it goes by this point. But genuinely, everyone, welcome to the 5th episode of the Chaotically... Actually, wait, no, this is the 4th episode of the Chaotically Queer podcast. I'm Chloe. I'm forgetful of how many episodes we've done by this point.
I'm Jazzy. I talked about a big penis earlier, but right before it recorded, and you'll never hear about it.
And demonetized.
I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm
Okay, but seriously, hi everyone, welcome to the 4th edition of the podcast. The other co-hosts are pretty confused by this point, but I am genuinely starting this now.
So we are starting.
We are starting, yes.
My god.
So we've started now.
Yes, we have started.
We are
3
currently
times
in
now.
the process. We are currently in the process of recording.
Yes. Okay, but
Who's on first?
oh god, here we go. But I figure starting it off with that might be good, given the fact that God.
What's starting it off with who's on first?
Well, kind of, I guess, but it's also like breaking the iceberg a little bit, just because well, this past month hasn't
Breaking
exactly.
the iceberg.
This-
What are we, the fucking Titanic?
Well, I mean, with how chaotic this goddamn opening was, we may as well be the Titanic at this point.
Okay, but which one of us is Leo?
Yes.
Okay, then which one of us is Kate Winslet?
I volunteer as tribute.
Not me.
Okay,
I wish.
so Chloe's Kate. So
I'll be the
Miss-
iceberg.
Okay, so then I guess I'm Leo. Okay, then. Wait, I just realized what that. Oh shit.
Oh no, Jazzy!
Oh wait, they fuck in that movie. I've never seen Titanic. But...
In the
Jazzy-
immortal word.
Jazzy,
of
what?
someone.
How
Oh, they
old-
fucking.
How old are you, Jazzy?
I am 27.
You are 27 and you
Wait,
have not
you
watched
are
Titanic.
older than me.
No, I haven't. Oh my god, this happened on the last podcast I was on too, where I mentioned not seeing Titanic, and they were like, "Oh my god, you haven't seen fucking Titanic."
If I had a nickel for every time someone yelled at me for not seeing Titanic, I'd have 2 nickels.
In a
It's law,
podcast
but it's rare that it happened
specifically.
twice.
In a podcast specifically.
It's funny how that keeps on happening, and it's just like, wow.
I
But-
feel like Titanic is just like one of those things that a certain generation just assumes that everyone has seen.
I mean, just
Am
a
I
little
I
bit.
wrong? Like there are there's like always those shows, those movies. I mean, you even get it with anime now.
I mean, we literally had a whole thing of that last podcast between you and Tokyo.
I know that's what I was pulling as reference.
But I mean, I guess I do get where you're coming from with that. I guess it's because it's like
I mean-
Titanic is like nearly 3 decades old by this point, And
Yeah.
I know that because, unfortunately, I think Titanic came out in 96, if I'm not wrong.
97, close though.
Oh, okay, so I'm like a year older than Titanic.
So I know that much, but I know plenty of things about the movie is the thing. I just haven't seen it. Like, I know
Yeah.
that Leo and Kate Winslet fuck. I know that he draws her nude. I'm not sure in what order these scenes happen. I assume the drawing happens before the fucking, because that'd be weird. Like, that'd be a weird scene placement if the
I
fucking
God.
happened first.
Yeah, I
Draw me like
suppose
one
it's
of
what...
your French girls was foreplay.
Yeah, I suppose it's
Yes, that was the foreplay. Okay.
I suppose it's one of those things because, again, it's been out for nearly 3 decades, and I suppose if you haven't watched it, you've at least, like, absorbed it through osmosis, through, like, the memes and internet culture these
Yeah.
days.
I guess
Yeah.
I kind of have, because I feel like I'll probably watch it at some point, because my friends have been slowly finding out one by one I haven't seen it, and they want to fix that. So I guess I'll see it sometime this year. But
I think
I'm gonna take a good guess and say that I pretty much know what happens already, considering just how much of it's on the internet on a daily basis. So
You probably
spoilers,
know,
Leo
like,
dies.
you probably know, like, 90% of what ends up happening in that movie. The other 10%
Right,
is
right.
just, like, character fluff.
right. Like,
Yeah.
I know Leo is like a poor artist. Kate Winslet is a rich lady who wants to be married off to Billy. Who no, she doesn't want to be married off to Billy Zane. Her father wants to marry her off to Billy Zane.
I forgot Billy Zane was in that
Oh
movie.
god, yeah, I forgot Billy Zane
So
is in
that
that
so
one.
that so that she could become a tribute to the darkness.
Oh my
Because I need
God.
to view everything. I need to view everything through the lens of Kingdom Hearts. Keep in mind. So
Yeah, for those
and that
those who don't remember, Billy Zane was the voice of Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts 1?
Oh, fuck,
Ansem
he
actually.
was.
Ansem.
Yeah, Ansem. He was the voice of Ansem before but in everything else he's been played by Richard Epcar. But anyway,
And he does an
going
amazing job, let's be honest.
Oh, he does. But getting back to what I know, but so then I guess she's like, I don't want to be with Billy Zane, and meets up with poor artist boy Leonardo DiCaprio, and they're like, yo, we should fuck. And then and I think there's something regarding like a necklace, I guess, that's like extremely rare. And they make it I think they're gonna make it a point to like show how important this necklace is. Because I may not have seen Titanic, but I've seen Moulin Rouge, and I think Moulin Rouge did something similar, if I remember correctly.
Just a little bit.
Right, where it's like the rich asshole gives the the lady he wants like a necklace to be like, look at how rich I am. I could give you everything.
Yeah, funny how that ends up not working out in the end, you know?
Mhm. So, but then like Leo and Kate Winslet, they have their relationship. He draws her naked, and then they fuck. Boat sinks.
The boat
Kate
sinks while they're fucking.
yeah, it's a little known fact. The
We're
fucking
condensing the Titanic into 2 minutes.
based on just the fact that I haven't seen it. And then the boat hits the fucking iceberg and starts sinking. You have everything going on. Fucking Billy Zane I think Billy Zane at this point and sometime before, I think is gonna frame Leo for like stealing the necklace, because I guess it got stolen. Maybe, I don't know. I've just seen that bit parodied so many times that I just assume there's a stolen necklace and the main guy gets accused. So. But then they get off the ship, but like they can only float on a board that can only hold Kate Winslet, and this is something that pedantic nitpickers go on all the time. I fucking remember. Anyway, Leo dies, and then old lady Kate Winslet, who's been narrating the story the whole time, like throws the fucking necklace into the sea, and then dies, I think, and meets Tim. I know the last scene. Is that the afterlife? Or
Yep, that's the afterlife ballroom scene where they reunite with Leo.
Okay, guys, and she's young again and meets young painter, rich, poor boy Leonardo DiCaprio.
Because that's
and
totally
Celine
what happens
Dion
when you go
sings.
to the afterlife.
Yeah, the afterlife. The afterlife's the Titanic. It turns out.
No, the afterlife just gives you youth regeneration, so you end up becoming your youthful self again. I mean, isn't that what happened to Anakin in like Star Wars?
That
Oh
was
God, it
literally
is.
what I was thinking.
Oh God, it is. It's specifically special edition
Yes.
Anakin.
Yep. In the original version, it was
A guy.
Darth Vader's like actual on-set suit actor. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think it was David Prowse. No, I think it was just a random guy.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
Huh.
I know David Prowse didn't play Vader. Actually, no. So they had a different actor than who normally play. So David Prowse was the one who played Vader most of the time. But for
Okay.
the bits where they take the helmet off at the end of Return of the Jedi and the ghost, that was like a different actor. So
Oh. Huh.
Okay, now I'm curious
You know,
about
I never
this.
thought to question it, so I just
Mhm.
if you don't question it, you wind up jumping to don't jump to assumptions, people.
Yeah, it was.
Now-
Yeah, it wasn't him. It was this guy called Sebastian Shaw who did the Unforced Ghost.
That's the guy. That's the guy. And the thing was, yeah, he was also the guy in the Vader suit. And so while in modern special editions, he's still the guy. He's still the guy like who you see under the mask near the end. He's not the ghost because they changed it to Hayden Christensen. So,
Yep.
which is a change I know. Like, it's weird because I don't hate that change, but I remember the first time I saw it as a kid, it freaked me the fuck out.
What, seeing
Yeah,
Hayden
especially
Christensen
si-
alongside old Obi-Wan-
alongside alongside Alec Guinness and
Yeah.
Frank Oz puppet Yoda,
which they
yeah.
actually changed to the CGI Yoda in later releases.
What the
The-
fuck?
They didn't do that for the trilogy. No, they did it for the Phantom Menace because in the Phantom Menace, Yoda was still a puppet.
Right.
But like the puppet looked like shit in that movie.
I remember because I watched like
Oh,
the original
yeah.
VHS copy when I was younger, and like
Yeah, but,
I
like-
remember watching them and I remember it being all like, wait, wasn't he like a really badly rigged puppet in this? And I was going like, wait, is this a fucking Mandela effect or something?
No, it's just George Lucas doing a George Lucas. So,
The bloody
Um,
George Lucas effect.
but
And then
no,
episode 8 Yoda
is
was
a puppet
glorious.
again.
Yes.
But I remember like because I had the VHSs of the original trilogy, and it was like the first special editions, I believe, is what I had. So while there were some changes and some CGI effects that I was a bit more familiar with, there was still stuff from the older movies that was still kept in, namely the fact that when you see the Anakin ghost, it's an old dude. But then when I was like at a friend's house, I think when I was in like I want to say 4th grade or 5th grade, somewhere around there, I was at a birthday. I think it was a birthday sleepover, from what I can tell, and we watched Return of the Jedi because that's what all the cool kids watch at their birthday. Like, let's be real.
God, how old were you?
And it was like the DVD special edition, and like it was. I remember like the minute the Force Ghost came in, me and a couple other kids who are more familiar with the VHS version were like sitting there going, "What the heck is that?" Because we did not. Like, we were used to the old Anakin Ghost, not fucking Hayden Christensen. It was so weird.
Now, those special editions on VHS, were those the ones with the really cool, like, little, documentaries at the beginning of them? Because I remember those VHSs a lot. Those were awesome.
Those ones, no. No, those ones didn't have that, I don't believe. They did have, but I knew which one you're talking about because I knew, like, a relative that had those.
Yeah, those were the copies I grew up on, and I love those to death.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, it's like, so I remember like we had every Star Wars movie at the time on VHS, and then when I remember my mom insisted when Revenge of the Sith came out getting that on VHS too, just because all the other ones we had were on VHS, but they didn't but like VHS versions of Revenge of the Sith were fucking rare, if existent at all. So
Oh
I
yeah,
got
that was
I
during
never
the
really
time
thought
when they
about
were
it, but
phasing out
yeah.
like on VHS altogether.
Was it?
Yeah, 2005 was, I think, some of the last years for VHS. It was that in 2006.
Yeah, I
2005.
believe there were VHS copies of Revenge of the Sith. They were just very few and far between.
It's like trying to find cars on VHS. It's so rare that it feels like it's a joke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
I'm looking it up on eBay right now, and yeah, like it's like if you want a new VHS of Revenge of the Sith, you're gonna be forking out over $200. So.
I mean, you say that, but I just spent like about 250 Australian dollars on like a decent copy of like the original series of Magical Girl Lyrical Nanaha, which was last released in 2006 on DVD.
Those were certainly words you just said.
See, that's worthwhile though.
Yeah, because like preservation, especially in physical collections, is really big for me. Like I used to have a phase where
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't care about having a physical collection. I'm just going to pirate everything. But it's just like, I like having a physical collection, and also I'm making a video about this soon because like a recent distributor here in Australia recently went under / was amalgamated into the massive blob that is Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
I know I've been wanting to, like, because I know they exist. I'd love to find the DVDs of the older Sailor Moon dub, just because I probably wouldn't watch it a whole lot, but those are important to history, so.
Those ones I think are like really rare these days, given the fact that like the new Viz dub is pretty much the most easily available one, and also Crystal as well.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I forget if
the Viz
I meant
Media YouTube channel has at least a bunch of the VizDub Sailor Moon stuff on YouTube for free, full episodes.
it's not the dub, it's Japanese only from what I can tell, but
Oh.
still pretty cool.
Yeah.
I forget if I mentioned this last episode, but I found a site that pretty much was pretty much an archive of all the original like 90s dubbed Sailor Moon episodes. And
No way.
You didn't
I
actually
started
bring this one up.
I started watching them. I think I've watched 4 episodes at this point. It's just kind of, I'm looking at it on occasion, like at my own pace, and it's a trip. Like, as someone who started with the Viz dub, it is a fucking trip watching this thing.
Oh, that actually brings up something that I found out a while ago. That was it's dumb, but it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I found a post online at one point, I think it was like middle of last year, where if you call a specific number, you can actually it'll play like a randomized audio only of like an entire episode of the Dick dub of Sailor Moon. Like, it's choppy, it's compressed as all hell, but it will play the entire episode on a phone call for you if you call that number.
That's cool, but what the fuck did you just call the company?
Dick?
It's Deek.
Deek. Oh, okay, that's how you're supposed to say it.
No, do you really think? Do you really think someone made a fucking kids? I can't anymore.
See, I take it for granted. Like, I grew up with Deke shows, but like the meme takes precedent in my head. So now, like whenever I see the logo, all I can think is Dick.
Oh, the fucking Dick Dastard. I just think of him yelling, Dick!
Yeah.
But so
no, I'm not surprised. I'm inclined to give Chloe the benefit of the doubt. It is funny as hell. But yeah.
But yeah, so I watched the first 4 episodes of this dub, and like I said, it is really weird seeing it after being more familiar with the Viz dub / Japanese uncut version, and it's just so weird. The transitions are all over the place. The mic quality on everyone is super inconsistent. Jadeite fucking peaks like crazy, I swear.
Yeah, they just did not care about quality during that period.
Well, I actually did some research.
In that
Well,
period,
actually,
right?
I did some research, and I actually, on the studio behind like the dubbing for Sailor Moon at the time, and it's actually interesting. Basically, so when they started, the ADR director was Tracy Moore, who was the first voice of Usagi / Sailor Moon / Serena, because they've renamed everyone, of
Oh,
course.
yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
And apparently, she wanted to try and like get multiple takes from the actors, try and get the best takes for each line as possible, like a good fucking director. But like the production company was just like, no, 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 first take's fine, get it out quick. And apparently, even after she left and they got a new ADR director and new voices for Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask, since Rino Romano left as well, they still kept this get it done quickly attitude. This wasn't the fault of the people who like the ADR directors or writers or anything. This was entirely executive bullshit.
Right.
It's actually kind of tragic because a lot of the people on the behind the scenes angle like were had to rush to get this done, and it was often came at the expense of their own health. I forget the actor's name, but the guy who played Umino / Melvin in the original dub was the ADR director for a while following Tracy Moore, and like he talked about how basically he was like they were rushing to get these episodes up. There were many nights where he didn't even go home. He had to fall asleep in this fucking studio. It was just it was a ridiculous work environment, like making that dub.
Being a voice actor is great, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it was just really fucking crazy, like how that dub was made, and the fact that there was little to no quality control for the sake of just getting it out quickly.
Yeah, focus on a focus on the quantity and not quality.
Yeah,
Right.
although to
can't
be
have
honest, I
both.
feel like that was sort of even outside of more like more chopped up dubs like Sailor Moon and everything like that. I feel like that was just kind of the mandate for a while for a lot of like dubs of around about the mid to late 90s or so.
Yeah, because Sailor Moon was made around the time where a lot of people didn't really know what they were doing. This was like a new thing to them, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we also have dubs like the original Dragon Ball Z dub, and God, there's one off the top of my head that also feels similar to that. Oh yeah, weird.
Speed Racer?
No, actually, it's something that I looked up sort of for my own research for a video I'm doing at some point, most likely coming out next month. It's for
While being productive.
yeah, the Revolutionary Girl Utena dub, because apparently they
Oh
didn't.
yes!
Yeah, that dub has a lot of weird casting behind it. It has fucking Crispin Freeman as Toga, so every time I hear him, I constantly think to myself, wait, that's Kyo. That's Kyo right there.
Yeah.
And also it's got like Jesse's voice actor from the original Pokemon dub as Utena.
yeah, Rachel Lillis. She wasn't just Jessie, she was Misty as well.
Yeah, so every so often I'll just close my eyes while listening to the dub of Utena and I'll just be like, wait, that's just Jesse and that's just Misty. What the heck's going on here?
I think that dub had a few 4Kids actors, if I'm not mistaken, since it was New York based. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if like you could hear Dan Green in there, probably.
I don't know if Dan Green was in that one, but it feels like that was just like the starting point for a lot of a lot of actors for that series. But the main reason why I bring it up is because like for the first 13 episodes, they had no idea what they were doing for the series. And like,
No.
if y'all know what Utena is like, so I'm assuming only me and Missy most likely.
I've never seen Utena.
Okay, I'm gonna force you to watch it at some point because it's really good. It's really good stuff. Also, it's gay as shit.
It's
So
gay
I've
as
heard.
shit and heavy as fuck. So do not
Don't tell me
do
about
not go
something.
lightly into
Missy, one of my favorite series is Berserk. I'll be fine.
my condolences?
I'll be fine. Don't talk to me about stuff being heavy. I actively rewatch Berserk.
Okay.
Okay, you'll have a good time with Utena then. But the main reason why I bring it up is mainly because, like, again, for the first 13 episodes, they had no fucking clue what they were doing, and they were just like, wait, there's subtext to this between Utena and Anthe in this show, and then it was so, and yeah, it was so
Roommates.
bad to the point where the original creator Ikuhara actually came in to oversee the rest of the series as the director for the audio.
Wow.
Interesting fact: Ikuhara was got his start on Sailor Moon. He worked on Sailor Moon R, S, and Super S.
Fun fact, actually, his work on those shows actually was the inspiration for him making Utena to begin with.
Wouldn't be surprised considering I think he wanted to do a lot more with Sailor Moon, but like executive meddling kind of put a stop to that, and it came to a peak with Super S. So
Yeah, so like he just was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna go off and create my own little collective, and we're gonna make our own Magical Girl series. And then
which makes
Utena was
sense
made.
Because Super S was shit.
Yeah. But
I don't know what you're talking about, but
well, okay,
go on.
so Missy, there are 5 seasons of Sailor Moon. Sailor
Yeah, go
Moon,
on.
Sailor Moon R, Sailor Moon S, Sailor Moon Super S, and Sailor Moon Sailor Stars. They're all good, except Super S. And the first 12 episodes of R. Like, the Makai Tree arc is fucking awful.
All right. Very cool.
So there's your tips for getting through Sailor Moon if you're ever interested and you want to avoid the bad stuff.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I just love that this whole conversation went from dubs and dubs for Sailor Moon are kind of interesting too. Just dubs in the 90s in general were weird.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Like I'd say
I
the
mean,
90s
and-
as well. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, fucking anime dubbing in general in the US is still like super new, all things considered.
Yeah, like I know in the 90s and to some extent the early 2000s, like a lot of the dubbing was usually fairly rough in places. Like I remember back in the day, I'm not sure how, considering that I am not the audience for this. I think a friend of mine showed me an anime called Gravitation. It was a yaoi show.
Oh
And
no.
the English dub for that one's fucking horrendous. Like it's
Ooh.
genuinely awful. And the only moment where I was like, "Oh, that's cool," is when I suddenly heard Jason Griffith as a minor character, and I was like, "Wait, is that Sonic?" That is my only kind of joy watching that dub.
My condolences.
You just have to think to yourself, "Oh wait, this guy is in this? Oh, that's weird." It's like hearing the original voice actor for Shinji in literally anything else around about that time.
Yeah, like or really any of the cast of I'll go back to this of the 97 Berserk series because again, most of that cast was 4Kids actors, so
Fair. But I only bring this
Like,
up because like Shinji's voice actor, like the original one from like the original dub of it, also played the main character in Martian successor Nadesco. And the funny thing
what
about
the
that
fuck? What are those words you just told me?
it's Martian successor Nadesco, Jazzy. Keep up.
What is a Martian successor, my dick so?
It's Nadesco, and Nadesco is the name of the battleship in the series, and
I almost splattered my monitor with water.
and a Martian successor doesn't actually get explained in the show, so don't worry about that.
Oh, cool.
What? Question
Yes?
everything.
Okay. I'm not gonna go on a huge rant about Martian's successor Nadesco today because
New desk. Who's new desk? Someone has a new desk?
I mean, I'm gonna need a new desk soon.
Like this year, I'm an anime fan, and some of these titles you tell me like every time we do this kind of confuse me.
I'm sorry, I've absorbed a lot of anime when I was younger. Like there was a good period of time in like when I was 13 to 16, where I would just binge through anime shows on the weekends.
Oh.
That's literally all I would do.
Oh, same. Like especially when my family got Netflix, like I would either watch through that or I would collect DVDs and Blu-rays and so forth. So, and I still have a lot of my collection, and quite a few of them turn out to be rather rare. I have a DVD set of the original dub of Escaflowne, and I still haven't watched it. So.
Oh no.
My introduction to anime was like when I was 13 on YouTube. So like I'm the boomer in this scenario.
Mine was mainly like I watched a lot of Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh as a kid, and then like a friend of mine in middle school got me into Inuyasha, and that was kind of the big one that got me into the whole art form. So.
Me, on the other hand, my parents came home one day with like a VHS rental of Spirited Away, and we watched it, and that's when I fell in love with anime when I was like 5 years old.
That's another one. Spirited Away. My first grade teacher showed the class that movie. That's how I got introduced to Miyazaki, and I am forever grateful to that teacher. Thank you, Mr. Rob. I hope that's your name. I hope I remember all my teachers' names correctly, because it would be kind of dickish if I don't.
Damn, you can remember your primary school teachers' names? I can't even remember like who I knew in primary school anymore because I've blocked all those days out.
I can remember some of them, mainly if they left an impression on me. And since Mr. Rob introduced fucking Spirited Away to me, that's an impression right there.
Okay, that is a good primary school memory. I'm just jealous I can't really relate to that because it's just like TV static for me whenever I try to like reflect on my school years before I was 13, because that's all like traumatic to me.
I just the only clear school memories of any classes I have is if I got introduced to any movies thanks to the teacher. Like, hell, I got introduced to The Princess Bride in freshman year thanks to my English teacher. So
good.
And that's one of my favorite movies of all time now. So
actually, that brings up a slight little memory. End of the school year, like the final day every single year, every single teacher would just be all like, hey, bring in a VHS or a DVD of a show a movie that you really like. And I would always fluctuate between like one of three movies: The Road to El Dorado, Chicken Run, and Shrek.
The only time I remember ever bringing a movie or a show to class is when in high school, like we had to bring in like a song, a scene from a movie, or a scene from a show that goes into this idea of the existence of like the whole point of living, the existence of deities, kind of the subject, kind of a very philosophical subject, basically. I brought in Code Geass.
Oh my god.
Yes!
But yeah, the main reason why I bring that up is because like one day, I can't remember which year it was. I just remember one of those times, one kid just brought in like a random volume of Sonic X.
Beautiful.
It didn't get picked, mind you, but the fact that that guy just that kid brought in like just a random ass volume of Sonic X. I think it had Shadow on there, so I think it might have been for that arc potentially when it got around to that in Sonic X. But the fact that they just brought that random volume in, that was equal parts amazing, but also like, oh my god.
I can't remember if it was school or a daycare, but I have this vague memory of when I was a kid of when there was just a point where in terms of bringing in shows to watch and so forth, fucking Pokemon used to be a big one people brought, but then it just got banned. Like
because it was brought in too many times.
I don't know if it's because it was brought in too many times or maybe parents complained, because I know there was like Pokemon was the subject of occasional religious outrage. But I remember that and Rugrats got banned, and if the religious outrage was due to Rugrats, that must have been pure bigotry, because the only reason I could think of that being banned is if like one of those super Christians got mad because Rugrats portrayed like other religions and other holidays. So.
Oh yeah, they had like an entire episode related to Jewish faith, and that's rad of them, honestly.
Yeah, they had
Really? Oh,
specials
yeah.
for all the different holidays. They had Christmas, they had Hanukkah, they had Kwanzaa. So
Which
Like-
fun fact, that special on Hanukkah was the first time I ever knew about Hanukkah being a thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I lived
yeah,
in a very
same-
I lived in a very close-knit conservative Christian family, so it's like no other religious views existed.
right. Yeah, it's because of shows like that where I learned about the existence of Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and like what they were, how they were different from Christmas and everything. And that was always interesting. So I appreciate that show for doing that for me.
God, that's something that I never think of. See, I'm Jewish myself, so like I never think to ask like how does everyone else learn about Hanukkah for the first time?
Rugrats, Missy.
Rugrats.
All right. I didn't grow up with Rugrats. I did grow up with Hanukkah though.
What cartoons did you grow up with then, with Missy?
Very few. I grew up with Chloe, I don't know if you would know about this. Jazzy, you might. I grew up with PBS.
Yes,
I
know
a
what PBS
bit
is.
about PBS.
Okay.
It's like I think it's like a public broadcasting network in the States.
Yep.
Yeah.
PBS is literally like public broadcasting system or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I thought, and I was just like, wait, that's just like free to air stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so like God. All right. The one fucking niche show cartoon that I grew up with, and looking back on it now, I'm just like, does anyone has anyone heard of Liberty's Kids?
I've heard of it.
That
Okay.
sounds vaguely familiar.
I forget what fucking network it was on. But basically, Liberty's Kids was and I'm going to like imply before I go on,
Oh my
I want
god, I
you
know what
to-
this is. I know what this is.
Oh, did you just look it up?
Yeah, I looked it up. I found the Wikipedia page, and the fucking image is giving me wartime flashbacks. I know what this is, Missy. This
But
aired in
Liberty's
Australia on our own public broadcasting system.
Oh
It's
my
wild.
gosh. Okay. Yes, I grew up with it. Liberty's Kids was the quote-unquote retelling of the
Oh wait, I actually
Revolutionary
don't know.
War
I don't know what this is actually. Shit.
in the US. I believe the first episode takes place like right after the Boston Massacre.
Dark.
Obviously, well, yeah, it was super dark. I don't think they because it was a kids show, they couldn't show people actively being killed. So all you saw was just like stock footage of like muskets falling on grass.
I'm looking at this fucking cast. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, Walter Cronkite as Benjamin Franklin was amazing.
Sylvester Stallone is Paul Revere. What?
Oh, yeah.
Ben Stiller as Thomas Jefferson?
Yep, Liam Neeson as Jean-Paul Jones too.
Oh my god, Arnold Schwarzenegger is Baron von Stroven? What the hell is this cast?
Andrew Rannells is Alexander Hamilton. That's just fucking hilarious in hindsight.
Oh my god!
Oh, yeah.
A Broadway actor playing Hamilton is fucking hilarious in hindsight.
Oh yeah, also Dustin Hoffman as Benedict Arnold.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
just saw
God.
that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Oh,
I think I'm gonna have
Jesus.
to find this on YouTube at some point because I know what this is, and like this feels
God,
like a locked away memory for me.
This show was like basically like my introduction to animation. The retelling is understandably super biased. It does not hold up under scrutiny.
Oh yeah,
No.
definitely.
Like this is like grade school Revolutionary War history with like a healthy dose and then another massive fucking spoonful of patriotism. But yeah, this train wreck of a show is what I grew up with.
I grew up with Teen Titans.
See, I love Teen Titans. I didn't start. That was another show that I actually watched when I finally found it on YouTube.
I think one show that's interesting that I watched as a kid, specifically in middle school, was when Total Drama Island came out in the States.
Oh my
And
god.
that was interesting because I see it in the Cartoon Network release, and I find out like months later that what we got on Cartoon Network was a censored version because there was a lot more mod language and crass humor in the original Canadian broadcast.
Which, by the way, us here in Australia got that uncut release, and it was can't imagine a censored release of it.
Oh yeah, it like once I found out about the original Canadian release, I just watched it that way, and then I would watch it like through I would watch like pirated versions like on sites just because that was the only way I could do it. And then some years later, the uncensored versions came out on Netflix, and heaven and earth rejoice.
Gosh, just going back to that sort of stuff now, I'm just looking through what ended up showing up on PBS, and it's very similar to what I ended up growing up with as well. And then I'm like, oh god, Cyber Chase!
Yes!
I do remember bits and pieces of Cyber Chase.
That was my introduction to Christopher Lloyd.
Nice.
Same, actually. And fun fact, it is still going on to this day.
Is it really?
Yeah,
really?
A 14th season is premiering this year on April 21st.
God damn.
Yeah. It's kind of sad. I kind of feel like it's sad because Christopher Lloyd isn't here to do it anymore, but it's like, it's cool that they're still doing it.
He's still alive.
Oh, wait.
He may not be the hacker, but he's still alive, I think.
Yeah, he's still alive.
Oh my god.
I would have heard about Christopher Lloyd dying.
I thought I read a report that he was dead at some point in the last year.
Oh my god.
Wow. Thanks for giving me a mini heart attack.
Yeah, same.
Look, this past year's been hectic.
Count.
This past year has been hectic for me. Like, the last 12 months for me have been the most
That doesn't excuse being a bitch!
Okay, how is that being a bitch if I was just, like, misremembering
Because
things?
Because you said the thing, and saying the thing is kind of bitchy, so you're being a bitch!
Wow. Okay.
Oh, wait, you may not understand because you don't live in the States, but Christopher Lloyd is a national treasure.
You don't put that evil on an American. You don't do that.
Okay, but what if I, as an Australian, just started spreading misinformation through this podcast?
How would you like it if I gave you a scare about who's the national treasure in Australia? I don't know.
I mean, you can't say Steve Irwin. He's been nearly dead for 2 decades.
I grew up with the crocodile.
Hugh Jackman's Australian, right?
Yes.
Okay, how would you feel if I gave you misinformation that Hugh Jackman died?
I'd probably just fall into a depression coma for 2 days.
Yeah, see? Bitch!
Wow, okay. I make one slip up about a death of a national treasure in the United States and also arguably a really good actor, and then suddenly it's like I'm being put on a witch hunt.
Yes, exactly. I'm glad you're catching up quite well.
Wow, okay. Good to know that my brain being dumb is actually something that will get me, like, actually potentially lynched at some point.
You're really figuring this out. I don't need to explain shit.
Wow, lovely friends you two are. Just the best people I could talk to and have to know, you know?
I love you too.
Anyway, we were fucking talking about cyber chase before the lynching started.
I wasn't going
dramatic.
to lynch you, silly.
You were just threatening me with a lynching. It's fine.
No, no,
Hey,
no.
editing Chloe, can you double check for me who even said the word lynching to begin with? Was it because I think it was the Chloe that we have right now.
Yeah, I think Chloe mentioned lynching. I never said it. You never said it. So
Look, no, you don't have to go ahead and just ask editing Chloe for that, because I know for a fact that I was the person that started up saying the fucking lynching.
aha,
Okay.
a confession.
Now we can go on.
Okay.
Or
Yeah,
in this case,
I grew up with the Crocodile Hunter. I grew up with Zabumafu.
Zabumafu?
Oh my gosh.
it's I vaguely remember Zabumafu.
Zabumafu was a puppet lemur.
Yes, I remember now. Holy shit.
And it was another show about like learning about animals and learning about nature and stuff like that. And Chris and Martin Kratt were the human hosts. I just pulled those names right out of the ether. I'm so proud of myself.
Good job.
Amazing.
You
Yeah.
You want to know what I watched as a child that I still quote to this day?
Sure.
SpongeBob.
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 Funny fact. My voice is already so nasally and my nose is just already so blocked. I can just go ahead and just do this, and it kind of sounds a little bit similar to Squidward.
That is terrifying.
The joys of having a constantly blocked nose for no reason at all. Trust me, I've been to several doctors about it.
Yay.
Good for you.
What the fuck even accent was that?
I don't know. You tell me what fucking accent
You
it was.
sound like
My
you're the
voice-
lost member of Spinal Tap.
I'm just gonna go and narrate Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh my god, that is just Ringo Starr.
Thomas saw some bullshit today. He didn't like it.
Oh god.
I didn't grow up with Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh, Thomas
But
the Tank
just-
Engine was my fucking life as a tot.
Just recently, I saw someone like shared a part of a Thomas the Tank Engine episode on Twitter, which was like that I forget one of the engines didn't want to drive in the rain, so they blocked him in a tunnel.
Yeah, Thomas the Tank Engine was fucked up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck did you all watch?
We watch trained people getting tortured, Missy.
Yeah.
Good lord!
Yeah.
It
And there
was
was
like,
one episode
oh.
where one of them just ended up breaking down entirely, so they just sent him off to the scrapyard.
Oh my god!
It was basically Saw, but with trains.
It was a time. It's fine. It's okay.
No, it was Hostel, but with trains.
This podcast is just like, how can we make the most fucked up comments possible?
I'm just listing all the torture porn movies I can think of and just adding but with trains.
Oh no.
It was Human Centipede, but with trains.
Oh no, that far. There's a line I do not cross. I do have some contrary to popular belief, I do have standards.
Do you?
Wow.
Maybe. I will neither confirm or deny that I have standards, but I am just going to, for the sake of of a possible illusion or confirmation that I do have standards, I am not going to say human centipede, but with trains in the Ringo Starr voice.
Good, because I don't want to think about the words human centipede coming from goddamn Ringo Starr.
So you don't want me to say I want to go watch some human centipede?
See, you couldn't even do it. That's
No!
how bad it is.
I couldn't. Oh shit.
Look, Ringo
grow
Starr
up
is
with the Princess Bride, though.
legitimately just one of the most wholesome people alive, and I could not imagine him saying anything remotely disgusting or awful.
Well, that's funny you say that because Ringo Starr was the narrator for the UK version of Thomas the Tank Engine. You want to know who he got in America?
Who?
George Carlin, as in stand-up comedian
No way!
George Carlin,
Oh,
narrated
I am so
Thomas
sorry.
the Tank Engine. And no, don't be. I think it's funny. And I'm a huge George Carlin fan. I love his work. I always love his fucking stand-up. So it's kind of funny knowing that he narrated Thomas the Tank Engine. It could be worse.
Oh my god.
It could be the theatrically released movie, Thomas and the Magic Railroad, where the narration was done by Alec Baldwin.
You made that up!
Look it up, Thomas and the Magic Railroad.
Yes, I remember that. I remember that being a thing, if only because I watched that fucking movie so much when I was younger. Because between 3 and 5, I was in love with fucking Thomas the Tank Engine.
My favorite bit of casting trivia
What?
with that. My favorite bit of casting trivia with that movie is that the actor who plays Victor's cousin was the voice of later go on to be the voice of Gabranth in Final Fantasy XII.
You're
Amazing.
right. You're right. And the funny thing is, Alec Baldwin narrates that, but he's also an actor in that.
Right, because he also plays Mr. Conductor. So
Yes. And,
This
and
exists?
Mara Wilson was in that as well.
the last movie Mara Wilson did before retiring,
Yeah. And
She
Peter
starred-
Fonda was in that as well.
Peter Fonda giving the most over dramatic I'm a depressed man performance in Thomas the Tank Engine.
This is just it's just you look at all of these and you think to yourself, how did this end up happening? How did they get all these people into this thing?
Money.
True.
I just like how Missy did not believe a word I said until she confirmed it.
I'm reading the synopsis on the Wikipedia page, and none of these words make any sense.
Yep, that's the movie.
Yeah, that is the movie. And to be honest, it's not meant to make sense. It's only meant to make sense if you're between the ages of 3 and 6.
And if you're making a movie for that age group, you're typically not making shit that makes sense, so...
Yeah. I think the last time I remember a movie being that bad was 2013 with the Oogie Loves.
Oh god. Oh fuck!
I just unlocked a really bad memory, didn't I?
I didn't see that movie. I just know reviewers I followed who looked at it at the time, and my brain has gone numb. Oh my god. Well, we're almost done with the hour, so I think this is a good place to stop mentioning the fucking Oogie Loves.
Okay, so seeing as we're getting close to the hour, what is everyone up to this upcoming month? Genuinely asking here.
I am going to be appearing at a con nearby in Dallas, Texas, AllCon, it runs from March 16th to the 19th. I will be running a panel that goes on both the 18th and 19th about navigating the voiceover industry as a transgender voice actress. So,
hell yeah, we love that.
Mm-hmm.
And,
other than that, just doing my usual shit.
Fair.
Understandable.
Fair. I know that you were talking about potentially getting back into the streaming stuff again, but then it's what was the thing that ended up happening? You got given a copy of something else?
Streaming? I don't think I've talked about streaming in a while, honestly.
Yeah, I thought you made a tweet about getting back into doing like Kingdom Hearts again or something like that.
Oh, no. I've been playing Kingdom Hearts on my own. And what happened was, then Like a Dragon Ishin came out, and that's a
Yep.
Yakuza game, so I'm gonna fucking prioritize that.
You should probably
Uh,
prioritize that because Ishin, I've been playing for
and-
Ishin like a chapter a night ever since I got it last week. It is
my God.
fucking amazing.
Right, I need to get back to it because my roommate ended up surprising me with Octopath Traveler 2, which has got me hooked, so...
Oh no.
What an embarrassment of riches.
And you, Missy?
Birthday.
Ooh,
Happy birthday.
Yes.
Hey, I turned 27 myself in can I do math at this time in the evening? In 16 days.
Nice.
Well, happy birthday for 16 days from now. I will probably remember to actually do it on the day, but I'm doing it now just in case my
Same.
brain just can't process time.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate that, and I completely understand.
And I mean, I guess for me, it's like, well, I mean, I literally just pumped out 2 Powerpuff Girls videos, and I've currently got like 2 more videos that are hopefully going to be released on time this month. And I'm also working on another video to be released at the very beginning of April. So this month is going to be pretty busy for me, but given the fact that like it's not all that much,
Hey.
it's yep.
If you need help with editing any of those, I do commissions, so...
I will keep that in mind, don't you worry. But also aside from that, it's just I guess just probably getting back into auditions again. Like I finally brought in lines for something that I was cast for like 2 years ago because finally had the energy to like get back into the booth again after so long, and it feels so great to be able to do that, honestly.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so like yeah, this year's already been pretty productive for me, and we're like about like 2 months into it, so you know, feeling
Yeah,
great.
honestly, same.
Damn.
Honestly, same, and I'm more than happy to just like to slow down a little bit for a while.
Fair enough.
I mean,
Well,
I will.
if we're...
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
No,
Go
you
ahead.
go. It's all good.
I was gonna do something to end the podcast, but you can go if we're not.
Okay, I'll just quickly go. But yeah, it's like imagine actually being like properly able to do stuff where you're not fucking depressed all the time and having no energy because of the depression.
Couldn't be me.
Anywho, I'm gonna turn down so I can scream into the void. Have a good day. Ah!
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, with Jazzy blowing out their voice, this has been the Chaotically Queer podcast. For all of us here, I'm Chloe.
I'm Missy!
And I'm Jazzy. I had a good scream.
And hopefully we'll catch you all next month. Bye!